Let's talk about my favorite peptide.
I think we need to. Oxytocin.
It's really good for this like heartbreak, this like soul fragmentation where you've seen something that you shouldn't have, that you have almost, people are going to have almost like a level of PTSD around this.
Why are people taking NAD?
It's literally makes my life so much better. It impacts my energy, it impacts my cognition, it impacts like my mood. So it increases mitochondrial respiration, and it's actually allowing your body to create more energy.
Glutathione.
I love it after surgery because glutathione helps to detox all these inhaled anesthesias. All the things they give you to put you to sleep need to be detoxed through the glutathione pathways.
Lipomino. What are your thoughts on that?
You have to give people several grams a day to really move the dial, increase muscle mass, increase bone density, all of that sort of thing. Also really good for fertility.
How about Sermorelin?
This is a growth hormone releasing peptide. Not only is it anti-aging, but it helps with body composition, helps with skin, helps with sleep, helps with cognition, helps with so many different things. Sermorelin, dude, this is such an easy winner.
Ipamorelin,
Sermorelin, Tesmorelin. These are kind of like biostimulators. They are growth hormone releasing peptides. They are signaling your body to release more growth hormone.
Before we dive into today's episode, I want to give a quick shout out to the sponsor that makes this generational health podcast possible, Hiva Health. At Hiva, we're all about helping you live longer, feel stronger, show up better for the people and passions that matter most. Whether it's hormone optimization, medical weight loss, peptide therapy, personal skincare, or gut health, Hiva delivers modern, proactive healthcare that's designed around you. It's fully virtual, available nationwide, and powered by real technology and real people who actually care. If you're ready to invest in your health span, not just your lifespan, head over to hivahealth.com and start your journey today. I should note that prescription medications must be prescribed by a licensed provider in your state, and individual results will vary. And with that, let's go ahead and get started on our episode. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Tade.
Oh my gosh, what a joy and a pleasure
to be here. We better keep track of time or else we're going to be here way too late.
We have 8 hours of shooting.
Steph's going to be mad. She's going to be like, where are you? I'm like, I'm with Dr. Tade. She's going to be like, well, why am I not there?
I know.
That's what she's going to be
jealous.
Say.
Second time for
Welcome
me.
Welcome back.
Oh, yeah. What a gift and a pleasure.
Well, we get along and you're fun to talk to.
Do you have any follow-up questions from our first podcast?
I mean, I would say it was a pretty popular one. I got a lot of people. I think your episode about female hormones got sent to a lot of people. I think it was good because we talked about kind of what to expect in a monthly cycle, premenopause, perimenopause, postmenopause.
Yeah.
And anyway, it got sent to a lot of people, and it's kind of fun because I had someone I met. I mean, I'd seen this person at the gym for years probably. And a lot of times we just have headphones in and we don't talk to each other, you just kind of work out. But it's kind of cool because this lady came up and she was like listening to your episode, but she goes, is this you? And she's like, I knew I recognized it. And it's kind of fun because there's, it's probably more local. I know we're kind of a small podcast or whatever, but people are listening and learning. And that one specifically about hormones was pretty popular. So I don't know that I have a ton of follow-up. We can follow into that topic if you want to, but sure. What?
I was like, let's make another hit.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, kind of a wild week. Lots been going on.
Crazy week.
You have any thoughts on it?
Oh my God. It's just, I was like, I try to stay pretty not isolated, but I don't watch the news. I don't watch anything because I want to stay pretty emotionally sound for my patients. But it's been really hard this week. And then patients have also been really wild. And talking to my other doctor friends, they're like, just with everything going on, I think people are really suffering and they're taking it out on other people.
100%. And by the time this episode comes out, people are like, what are you talking about? Because there's always crap going on. But we got the Charlie Kirk stuff. We got people on buses getting hurt, just innocently sitting there. You've got school shootings. And it just, even though these things are happening, kind of far away from us physically, they hit hard. I don't know. It's just yesterday, day before yesterday, it's just heavy. It's like, it's just, something's off. Like everyone just feels off.
I have patients that were in the crowd that saw Charlie get shot yesterday.
I had family that
were like, they go to school there.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like not doing so hot today.
Yeah. I've checked in. Did you see my post yesterday? Maybe not.
Maybe not.
So we've got some pretty close ties to the school.
Yeah.
But we had family front row. So it's
insane.
like, I've just, we check in on them or whatever, but I think everyone was a bit traumatized. I can't imagine how they're all feeling, especially because you don't know if there's more coming. And so it's kind of fight or flight in that moment.
Oh, totally.
Which we didn't have to experience that, but we did all get it to our phones. And I brought that up in, other podcasts that I've already talked about this, but, our kids are seeing it. It's like, and there was this, I'm going to actually pull it up because I snapshotted this. I thought it was so good. There's this guy, Dr. Raymond Nichols. I don't know if you follow him or not. So Dr. Raymond Nichols, he's got some really cool stuff. I'd never followed him before until people were posting about him a little bit, and they kept reposting his stuff because it was just so good. But this is what he said. He said, "You were never meant to witness someone's final breath and then laugh at a TikTok." Thinking about kids scrolling through TikTok, seeing someone's final breath, and then like having some funny dance show up. You weren't built for that. Your soul wasn't designed to hold that kind of weight and then move on like it's nothing. This isn't just about tech. This is trauma. This is spiritual damage. We're overstimulated, underconnected, and completely shut down inside. We're seeing everything and feeling nothing, and that should break your heart. And that's kind of, I mean, that for me, that was very much true. My kids came home and I had kids, my older kids were crying, because they didn't really know how to process that. Like you see stuff on TV and whatever, but it's just pretty clear to me and that it's just, we're sick. Our country is sick. And
I was on social media a lot that day because I was reporting several accounts. And I remember just opening Instagram and I saw a very graphic video of him being shot. And I'm like, how is this even okay? I was just like, it was wild. It was wild.
It's tough. And it goes against, these people that are making light of human life and they're not, they're celebrating the death of a human being, a fellow American even. Man, that hurts.
Let's talk about my favorite peptide for disconnection.
Oh, we're moving into peptides?
Let's talk about my favorite peptide for when you're feeling like heartbroken.
Oxytocin.
And you're in shock.
Is it oxytocin?
It's oxytocin.
I knew it.
I was like, should we just put oxytocin in like the water right now?
I think we need to.
It's really good for this like heartbreak, this like soul fragmentation where you've seen something that you shouldn't have, that you have people are going to have almost like a level of PTSD around this.
But is there a peptide for helping people not celebrate something so evil? You've got certain people that are happy to see this guy go. You can't peptide that, right? No. It's sad. I'm so sad about it. But I hope I hope that out of all this somehow that it becomes more unifying than divisive.
I think it is.
But the country's we gotta heal. We gotta get better. So
how are you healing and how are you helping people get better?
I don't know the answer. So tell
me some of your wins.
In my little, I filmed a monologue like I told you, and I think it kind of comes down to a disconnection from like our spiritual connection. Totally. Not religious. I didn't, it wasn't a religious rant by any means. Some of us find spirituality in God or religion or whatever. Christianity or whatever your religion is, people find spirituality there, but I just can't help but think that there's a huge lack of spiritual connection among everybody. So like even those that have no belief in God, I think spirituality is, I believe it's like we are spiritual beings, like absolutely creatures. And even like if you look at it from a scientific standpoint, the way our brains work, longevity, from a biohacking standpoint,
Yeah.
you want to live a long time. Well, guess what, how important connection is, human connection.
Yeah.
So it's
I
kind of,
saw like this, there's like an epidemic of loneliness, right? And if you report feeling lonely, it's the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day as to how detrimental it is for your health. What do you think about this like epidemic of loneliness?
Did you get that from me?
Oh no, me and my friends have been talking about the male loneliness epidemic.
Okay, I can't take credit for that.
Time.
But I didn't say it necessarily about males, but
males tend to be a little bit more isolated than females.
Look at this post.
Did you post that? Did you post that with the cigarettes? Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just like becoming you, Colby.
Are we on the same?
We're on the same way.
Did we just become best friends?
Should I just co-host your podcast?
Oh my gosh. That is so good. So I don't know where this loneliness comes from, but like, I mean, I see this kid that did it and I'm like.
They found him?
They found him today or late last night, but he's from Utah. He seems like he was raised in a normal, good home. He went to college and who knows from there. But I feel like this tech world that we're moving into with AI and everything is
so fragmented.
It's isolating.
It's disconnecting.
It's very disconnecting. I mean, even just text messaging, we joke about like how, we used to have to like actually go ask someone out on a date or go to our friends' houses and knock on the door to see if they can play. Yeah. Or you don't just break up with a girl over a text message. Like people do that, it's like, go talk to them.
Don't you feel like it's kind of like weakened our society?
100%.
Yeah.
For sure. And there's a lot of good that's come from technology and I get that, but it's coming with a gigantic trade-off. And the trade-off is probably isolation, loneliness, lack of connection, lack of spirituality. And I went through a number of things that people can do, even if they don't believe in God, to connect spiritually. And a lot of it, it's all free, 100%. We're talking like go out in nature, watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, stare at the stars. Just take for a second and look at how tiny you are in this gigantic thing. Yeah. Try to connect with humanity. Go serve somebody. Look at someone and just love them because they're a human and you have that in common, right? Yeah. And there's all these things, breath work, mindfulness, like there's all these things that people can do to align spiritually with themselves and with others and, kind of see the bigger picture. Totally. And then figuring out how to live with people, around people that have differences of opinion than us without hating them, because, we should be rejoicing all of our differences, not trying to make everyone think the same way I do. Right. Anyway, I'm ranting. You're asking me, you're interviewing me.
What are we talking about? Let's talk about peptides.
Should we get into peptides? Okay. So we had kind of briefly talked about some things to talk about, but I kind of want to talk about you for a second though.
Oh boy.
I don't think I know a lot about, like, where did you grow up?
Houston.
Did we establish this already?
Okay, listen, I don't think we've talked, me and you have talked about this, but me and your wife talked about this.
Where in Houston?
I'm from Memorial.
Okay. Like you're downtown Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's like Memorial's like there.
Yeah, my parents still live there.
The medical district.
But my parents worked in oil. So my dad worked downtown and then my mom worked in the energy corridor.
Who did they work for?
BP and Conoco and
no way.
Total, Phenol, Elf, and like pretty much all the top 5 oil companies.
In it. Okay. Yeah. And you knew we lived in the Woodlands?
The price of a barrel is like hot topic.
I don't follow it anymore. That's my old life.
But no, remember we talked about this because my horse retired to Anderson right outside, and my dad went to Texas A&M. So I would go out to like Navasota all the time and Anderson and like all that sort of thing. So yeah,
so great out
like
there.
The best part of Texas.
Yeah. So where'd you go to school?
Memorial High School.
What about college?
I went to Sweetbriar. So I went to a small private women's college in rural Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about like med school? Same?
I moved from Virginia to Arizona to go to medical school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, man, Houston.
I know.
I got to get to a Texas A&M football game.
H-Town.
Okay. So how did you get into wanting to A, get into medicine, and B, how did you choose natural
Great question. I feel like I always knew I wanted to get into medicine. I almost went to chiropractic college. I almost became a chiropractor because I do like hands-on, like working with people. But my senior year of college, I had to do like a senior research paper study, whatever. And I do tissue culture, which I grow cancer cells in like Petri dishes basically. And I made my own extract from blueberries that are high in anthocyanins, and I applied it to the cancer cells and it was killing them. So I started to really get into this like oncology, alternative oncology world. And instead of going to like chiropractic school where I would just learn one thing, I was like, oh, why don't I go to naturopathic medical school where I can learn like many, many things?
Okay.
It's really cool because in naturopathic school, we learn surgery, acupuncture, integrative medicine. We also learn to adjust. Like I still will adjust people here and there, just like I would a chiropractor. I don't know looking back, if I would do it again.
What would you do?
I think I would have gone to like nursing school or like been a PA or something like that, because that's what a lot of medical providers are doing now is they have a regular medical license and then they're getting like a functional medicine certification on top of that because I moved across the country away from like all of my friends in Virginia. It took me 5 years to go through medical school on top of the 4 years plus 2 more years of like prereqs that I had to do to get into medical school. So we're now at like 11 years for me to get a naturopathic medical degree. And like, that's a huge chunk of my life, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a ton of debt. It's like insane. I think I'm at like $350,000 worth of student loans just from naturopathic medical school. Yeah. And one of the jobs that I applied to when I graduated was offering $30K a year. So like the job market isn't great. You really have to go and like be so aggressive, so assertive, and like go build your own thing.
Well, you've built a pretty solid patient base that trusts you and comes to you and has followed you around for quite some time.
They have. I'm so lucky.
How did you start? Like when you came here, like what did you start doing? Like where were you working? And
So when I graduated from medical school, I started working actually downtown at a drug and alcohol detox.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing that. We were just doing IVs all the time. So I got really good at doing IVs.
How do you detox somebody with an IV? Like what's the cocktail?
This guy would give them amino acids. And a lot of alcoholics are actually really deficient in a lot of vitamins, right? Especially B vitamins, vitamin C. I mean, the level of malnutrition for most drug addicts and alcoholics is crazy. So you basically give them like a modified Myers cocktail. It will like change their life. And they're coming in like 2-3 times a week sometimes to get these like really like amped up like vitamin bags. And then the doctor there was like rebalancing their neurotransmitters with like amino acids, balancing their adrenals. Like it's super, super cool. But it was way in downtown Phoenix, so it was like a hike for me. And then I had my own little place for a while, and then I ended up working at a place in Scottsdale, which introduced me to this model of practicing naturopathic medicine with insurance. And that really like opened things up for me. It's kind of a lot. It's a lot of work, but a lot more patients are able to see me. Like I just saw a girl today where she was like, yeah, people have spent thousands of dollars to go establish care with a naturopath and get integrative or functional medicine. And she was like, I saw you on my insurance, so I made an appointment. And I was like, amazing. I'm probably like one of the only naturopaths that is on your insurance plan. And it's like, I have a medical director, I have a biller, I have like all of these like systems in place that allow me to do it. And now I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. I just want to take cash.
It is tough.
And I'm like, I'm working way too much for way too little.
Yeah. They make it kind of difficult, but at the end of the day, trying to just help more people, right? Trying to make it accessible. And, you know, it's kind of tough in what we do with insurance.
I know.
Obviously, we don't do any insurance for that reason. That is kind of tricky. We try to work around it and make things affordable and accessible without it. But, well, that's cool. Okay. Any personal things you want to share that are unique about you? Fun facts about Dr. Tade?
Nothing's fun about me.
Whatever. Like, what do all your patients want to know about Dr. Tade?
Oh God, I have no idea. Should we open a poll?
We should. Actually, we should do that. I should say we should open a poll and just be like, okay,
Yeah.
because you talk to so many people.
Oh, I know.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
You're talking to all these people. You got all these,
day.
and they've become a lot of them your friends.
Oh yeah.
They're inviting you to birthday parties.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we'll poll them and just be like, what do you want to know about? What do you want to know about Dr. Tade? All right.
I feel like you get some like weird answers.
You have siblings?
I have a younger brother. He lives in St. George.
St. George?
Yeah.
You have a younger brother in St. George?
Uh-huh.
We took him to St. George.
Rehab.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't there's like a top one in the country there, right?
Well, it's also really hard to like get in trouble in like Southern Utah because like you have access to very few drugs and alcohol. But yeah, he just moved from Hurricane to St. George.
I'm very familiar with that area.
Mm-hmm.
Very familiar.
I love it.
Is he doing okay?
I like Snow Canyon.
Snow Canyon's beautiful.
Yeah, we would go to like the spa there all the time, like the Green Valley Spa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing good. You know,
that's tough.
As good as to be expected. He's been in and out of rehab for like 10 years. It's not like a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but hopefully he's getting better. I've got some pretty close, really close people in my life that have been dealing with stuff like that too for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
It is. It's sad and it's tough. So hopefully he can get the help he needs and get better. But it's hard watching him constantly go in this circular motion of addiction.
It's really interesting. And I asked my parents to do this like 10, 15 years ago to send him to like an Outward Bound program to like have him get a little more self-confidence and like self-esteem. So he just did like a 90-day kind of like this past like fall into the winter in like southern Utah. It's freaking cold in the winter.
It is, yeah.
And it's like snowy and all these things. And I think that one was really good for him because it was actually like a 90-day program. It wasn't like a 30-day. And they were like out in the wilderness and they were becoming like self-sufficient.
That's cool.
And I think that was really good for him.
That's great. Yeah. And it's a beautiful area, but it is very outdoorsy there. And there's probably a great way to just kind of like get connected, be away from busy society, and also in these densely populated cities, it's just there's trouble around every corner with drugs, right? I mean, it's tough. So like one of my really good buddies, he went to rehab and it was like way up in the mountains somewhere. Yeah. And he was great and he's doing good. And then he, comes back and there's like similar people all of a sudden, and it's like you run into this old acquaintance, and then next thing you know, I think it's
super hard. You got to transition. For a long, long time, my parents like would send him to these very nice rehabs and they would just let him come right back home and he would just get in that like loop. Right. And I'm like, you can't let him back in the house. That's like the same environment that he got sick in. You can't get better in. You can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. Yeah. So it's like you got to really work on that transition back into like society, into like sobriety, as well as just like what are your triggers and why are they triggering you?
Yeah. Well, I hope he crushes it.
Two really good things for addiction. We're doing lots of NAD.
NAD for addiction? Yeah. Let's sit with NAD then. That was where I was going to go.
Like LDN too. We're doing all kinds of like weird things for addiction.
Do you deal with a lot of people with addictive issues here locally in your practice?
Yes.
People come see you for that?
Yes and no. People generally don't come see me for that. And I kind of got burnt out on it when I was doing that many, many years ago. But it's always like, it's happening to a family member. It's happening here. It's happening there. And there's no way that I can provide the level of care that other places can provide. I'm like, they need to go in for 30 days at least. They need to go in maybe for 90. And then when they come out and they're ready to like fix or work on whatever, then we can rebalance their neurotransmitters. We can do an NAD protocol, all that sort of thing.
Okay, let's talk more about addiction then, because I've got more questions down that avenue if you want to.
Oh boy.
What do you think about psychedelics for addiction?
I'm very hesitant to use any other substance to treat a substance use disorder. Right? Because what if, people are using substances to like distract from something, distract from their shame, their suffering, their anxiety, whatever. I love ketamine. I love psilocybin, but it needs to be used in like the right time and the right place. And typically when people are coming out of like a really intense, like a drug abuse situation, they're not in a good place to like use another drug.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about?
I mean, I don't know enough about them, but I just,
Mhm.
I've heard some of the statistics about them. And I think it's former Governor Rick Perry out of Texas,
Hmm.
hyper conservative,
Mhm.
who's actually pushed an agenda to help with PTSD and depression
Oh,
and
see,
addiction.
yes. So PTSD, addiction, anxiety, I can totally get behind.
Yeah.
Addiction stuff, I don't know. I'm hesitant about
Addiction's
that.
the one that's a little tricky.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
PTSD stuff it's wild.
Yeah.
I have, you know, like so many incredible stories. I work with Advanced Wellness in Scottsdale. They do a ketamine program. It's like 6 IVs over the course of like 2 weeks. I had a family like suddenly tragically like lose their son. And their whole family went through the ketamine program there, and it like absolutely brought that family back together. Like it's it's wild.
How do those I've heard different things, and I've got some of my own like personal contacts that have gone through ketamine treatments too, but what's like a normal protocol for somebody that's, I think there's a lot of people questioning this right now, because you have a lot of people who've been on antidepressants almost their whole life.
Yes.
They're dealing with trauma from like their childhood.
Yeah.
That it's like they've addressed it, they've gone to therapy, they've been on, but you also know like with SSRIs, those have side effects. And
Totally.
you know, like that can create more depression in a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
a lot of side effects, like it kills your libido,
which can again
causes you to gain weight.
Right.
It has all of these things.
And how's that going to work for your depression if all that's
no, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah, so it's kind of a vicious cycle in some ways. But they found ketamine to be really, really helpful. So, but like at a clinic like this, when you talk about 6 treatments, how spread apart are those? Like, what's the normal protocol for those?
So it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They do 3 IVs a week for 2 weeks. The reason why I like Advanced Wellness is because they pair you up with a counselor. You're in like a meditation chair. You're doing this very intentionally. There are other centers where like my patients are like, oh yeah, I did ketamine. It did nothing. And I was like, well, what was your experience like? And they're like, I'm getting the IV and I'm watching CSI on my iPad. And I'm like, I don't think that medication was given very intentionally to like help resolve something. If you're just sitting there like watching, you know, YouTube or whatever. Some Advanced Wellness doesn't take insurance, right? So
it's a little expensive.
It's expensive, but every patient that I have sent there, it has absolutely changed their lives, like revolutionized everything. And some patients have to go back like once a quarter and get like a little top up. They get like a little IV. And that just kind of holds them over, keeps them steady. But you just got to really like just talk to the center and, you know, see if you like vibe with them.
I think if you're somebody that has dealt with some really heavy stuff, and you've also have dealt with like ups and downs, anxiety, depression for a long period of time, it is absolutely worth exploring, because I'm also in the same boat where I have a personal contact of mine that I think it saved his life. If I'm being honest,
100%.
And his stories are like amazing. So completely getting off SSRIs that was totally dependent on for a long time. I don't want to tell his story, but maybe one day I can get him in here to tell his own story.
Yeah.
But the way he explained it to me, because I was like, how does this even work? Like, cause he's talking about like the brain, and I'm like, well, why does this work? Why does it help so much? And the way he explained it to me was it like a ski slope? He said, okay, if you go up the ski lift and you get to the top, you've been skiing before?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know. And you've got, okay, so I've got this run over here. It's a square, and you got a black diamond here and a double black diamond there. And you have like 4 choices. You can go those 4 choices, right? It's like you got these groomed runs or whatever. You just have predetermined runs that you have to go down, right? And he said that's kind of like how like a triggering event is for him. So something that really like takes him into a bad place. Yeah. It's almost like the run is picked for him. It's like it would happen, and it's like I have to respond this way. Boom, down that hill.
So there's this concept of neuroplasticity, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these like theories behind anxiety and depression that like you just have the same neurons firing back and forth, back and forth. And I can kind of see this with like OCD, sometimes anxiety, people that have intrusive thoughts that they're just like, oh no, like they saw a car accident and they're like, I'm going to die. You know, they just think like the worst case scenario. Doing ketamine actually increases the amount of like neuron, like kind of like the little arms, the little branch branches. So you're not thinking about the same thing over and over, that you're thinking about things in a different way. Psilocybin does it too, but ketamine does it in a really interesting way. So you're not going down the same ski slope over and over. You're able to go down a different one.
Well, so his explanation after he told me about like the ski runs was over time, it felt like he got dropped off at the top of a mountain and he got to choose his path.
Yeah,
essentially, right? So he got to create his own response.
Exactly.
So it's almost like he was able to think and say, okay, how do I want to respond to it this time?
Yes.
I don't have to respond to it the way I did before. So it's almost like it gave him choice. And whereas before he felt like he didn't really have a response choice. So kind of goes to your neuroplasticity thing, which is really cool. And I hear that and I'm like, that is amazing. Like super, super cool. And hopefully government can get behind a lot of this kind of stuff and it can become a bit more normalized, because
especially like for the PTSD,
especially the numbers they're coming out with, like with like veterans and how effective it's been in treating their PTSD. We're talking like 75+% effective. And even with multiple treatments, it's surpassing like 90% effective, which is crazy. And that's why Rick Perry got behind it. Yeah. Even though he's like been on the side of like no drugs, no anything, because he's super conservative Republican Texas guy. But he's been championing a lot of this in Texas with veterans, and he's done a lot. And anyway, it's kind of interesting stuff. I'm still learning a lot about it. I mean, one of the first times I was around any of this was I was in a meeting in Miami at a hotel, and they were holding a psychedelics conference. And I'm like, what is this? Oh my gosh,
who was there?
Well, I noticed CNBC was there because cool. they were all like private equity groups that are looking to invest in this because they're seeing it be such a big.
Once the FDA approves of it.
That's what I mean. So as soon as the FDA kind of gets behind some of this stuff and it might change some things, but there's a lot of big money that's looking to back this stuff, I think. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
We love a private equity group behind psychedelics.
Wherever there's money, there's to be made, there's going to be, but I think that's mostly, it was like a businessy thing, like a business conference, but it was a psychedelics conference. And I was like, really? The I thought it was so dumb. And then I started learning about it and I started hearing stories from friends and others that have, I'm like, this stuff sounds amazing. So
the business of psychedelics.
Love that. But let's talk about a couple therapeutics or, metabolic enhancers. So you brought up NAD. Why are people like, this is pretty popular right now. It's getting more popular. Why are people taking NAD and why are you prescribing it?
It's literally makes my life so much better. I did a hard washout because I was just like, I have just been like injecting myself with like so many things this past year. I was like, all right, I'm going to stop everything. And then I'm just going to bring back like one thing at a time and see what makes the most difference. And I'm like, dude, I would give up everything just to have NAD. I would give up every other peptide just to have NAD. That is like the most potent, like most like effective, like it impacts my energy. It impacts my cognition. It impacts like my mood. It impacts like, I know if I've had a good day, if I can like do like 8 hours at the office and run around and like see all my patients, come home and still go to the gym. Like I know if like I've had a solid day when like that is happening. So NAD is an absolute game changer for me personally. I also I take methylene blue and I think NAD and methylene blue work very synergistically together. NAD has been incredible for a lot of my patients with traumatic brain injuries, concussions, like neurodegenerative disorders, Parkinson's, NAD is amazing for. But a lot of my patients just inject themselves at home. I'll prescribe them a vial. I will pre-fill syringes and I'll be like, all right, you're going to do this like every other day. And they're like, wow, what is going on? And I was like, your mitochondria are like working again.
So yeah, I was going to ask, like, what is it actually doing in the body?
So it increases mitochondrial respiration, right? So it increases the amount of ATP, which is what's driving the mitochondria. Your body's like the powerhouse of the cell, right? And it's actually allowing your body to create more energy. So this is, and think about what areas of your body are the highest in mitochondria. Your brain, your heart, your ovaries, your testicles, all of those sort of things are typically going to respond the best to NAD.
So NAD is, you said it's a peptide. So it's something that...
Is it a peptide? I don't think it's a peptide.
Is it not a peptide?
Somebody like Google this.
Let's do it right now. We got to make sure we're accurate. I think it is because it is. I don't know if it's a short chain amino acid, but it does naturally occur in the body.
It does naturally occur in the body, and your levels naturally decline as you age. So it's really great.
It is not.
It is not a peptide. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah,
it's
NAD
coenzyme.
It's a coenzyme. NAD levels naturally decline as you age. They are also going to decline if you have a chronic illness, if you have Lyme, if you have chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic viral illnesses. I'm seeing it really, really low after people have COVID as well. Think about like long hauler syndrome. And there's so many different ways to get NAD into your body. This can be a nasal spray. This can be a troche. This can be a little subcutaneous injection, which is what I do. And then I also will do IVs of it in the office.
So yeah, this stat that I pulled up was that our levels decrease by 50% by the time you're 50 years old.
Wow.
So, NAD contributes to metabolic function, as you said, fuels sirtuins, which is the longevity gene. So involved in like DNA repair. You talk about mitochondrial health, cellular stress and resistance. So it makes it pretty central to the anti-aging process. So
yeah, I've been using like an NAD skin cream as well.
I haven't tried that yet, actually.
And we, in the office, we have like a little esthetician that will actually microneedle NAD into your skin for wrinkles and anti-aging.
And have you noticed improvements?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
I know. And then we put like copper peptide over it. We just do like all these like fun and weird things.
Hey, as long as they're all safe and it's appropriate and,
I know. I'm like, you might feel a little flushed. Have you ever injected NAD?
I actually have not. So
what?
I've never injected NAD. I've been more of an NMN user.
Yeah. Which you can also layer them together.
Honestly, I haven't. I'm kind of a minimalist. I don't take a lot of stuff unless I feel like I need to, but NAD is one of those that, NAD plus injection is one of those that I've been wanting to take just to see if it changes anything. But
yeah,
I tend to, I don't know, my regimen's pretty minimal.
I love that for you.
And it works, I guess. Like so I don't really change things up too much unless I'm feeling like something is off. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I need to look into this. But sometimes the other thing with working in kind of like functional medicine, sometimes you feel like everything's good and normal, and then you try NAD plus, and all of a sudden you're just like, crap. Like I feel like I got home from a long day of work and I actually have I got more gas in the tank,
Yeah.
You don't realize it until you actually like try it or do it. So it very well could be appropriate for me. I haven't yet, but
because sometimes when you inject NAD or you get NAD in an IV, you feel like you're going to die.
Oh, that's fun.
I know. But it's usually passing. It's very transient. You're like,
cool, thanks. I'm going to try it.
You're going to feel like you're going to die for like 10, 15 minutes. You're going to feel like you're going to have a panic attack. You're going to have maybe some like heart palpitations.
I've heard that it makes people like their chest hurt.
Yes.
Some people.
Yeah.
There's other people that nothing.
I know. It's really weird.
Do we know why that is?
I think it has to do with like the nicotinamide receptor. It's really funny. Our nurse practitioner used to use NAD as his like pre-workout instead of like drinking like a pre-workout like with caffeine and everything. And he's like, oh, I just feel like so strong in the gym. And he was like, or that my heart is going to explode.
One or the other. Jeez.
I know. But yeah, one of my favorite things. And I think I'll take it forever. Like, I never want to stop taking it.
There's a lot of people that swear by it. I will tell you though, there's some people that have taken it that I've seen that they don't really notice much, but they do better on NMN. So
Great.
Like they'll respond really well to just an oral NMN.
Absolutely.
And they don't really respond well. NMN is a peptide though, right?
Or is it a precursor? We are learning today.
Is a nucleotide.
Things are peptides that you don't think are peptides.
Non-amino acid, like peptide, NMN.
Other things are not.
Yeah, I actually, which is kind of funny because it's considered a nucleotide.
Okay.
Which consists just of different like groups. So rather than having a branched chain amino acid, this is like a phosphate group and sugar.
Wow.
Essentially. But yeah, some people respond to NMN better than NAD plus or vice versa. But that's why like, yeah, I want to try it and see how I respond.
I know.
Hopefully I don't feel like there's an elephant standing on my chest.
It'll pass really quickly.
Okay. You promise? Glutathione.
Glutathione.
Let's talk about glutathione. This one I have done a lot.
You have done a lot?
Yeah,
Why?
Yeah, this one I like because just
I hate it.
You do hate it?
I can literally not even get through an injection on myself.
Because
it's so
it
painful. It's like I feel like I'm getting shot.
Really?
Like I feel like it's like a bee sting.
Oh, it does sting a little bit,
okay.
But I haven't had that big of an issue with it. But it is like, it's literally labeled the master antioxidant.
Yeah.
So for me, like when I think about like, okay, like I'm trying to just be as healthy as I can, eat really healthy, like I just feel like my liver, my kidneys, everything else, like to me, I need those functioning on all cylinders. Yeah. And so that's where I'm like, okay, the master antioxidant, I can inject this. And Absolutely. So I got a 30 ml vial of that stuff, and I just inject it a couple times a week, and
really?
It stings it stings at the injection site. It feels like it feels like someone's pouring a little salt in your wound for a minute, and then it goes away.
Dude, for whatever reason, for me, it's so painful. I run a lot of CRPs, which is your cardiovascular reactive protein, which is telling me your like body-wide inflammation. And if that's elevated, I prescribe a lot of glutathione for people to inject at home. And like half the time they're just like, oh yeah, it hurts, but I just like keep injecting, no big deal. Yeah. I take a couple grams of NAC, N-acetylcysteine per day, which is a glutathione precursor. And that seems to work pretty well for me.
When you can take glutathione orally too, there's
Yeah, there is a liposomal glutathione. Quicksilver has a good one. But
we have a good one.
You do? I need to look
Shameless
at yours.
Plug.
Hiva. Glutathione is really unstable, so it's really, really hard to package into a supplement unless you make it into a liposomal form or somehow stabilize it.
Yep.
And then we can do mega doses in an IV. We can do like 10, 15 grams sometimes. And that's really helpful for people that are like acutely inflamed.
So who would it be for? You said for people that have elevated
CRP, just inflammation markers. I love it after surgery. Colby, I need to post this on my Instagram. This surgeon goes on and he's like, every person waking up from surgery should be laying in the recovery room getting a glutathione IV, because glutathione helps to detox all these inhaled anesthesias. All the things they give you to put you to sleep need to be detoxed through the glutathione pathway. So that's the first thing I do as soon as I get people from surgery, is like I give them an IV with like tons of vitamin C, and then I give them a push of a pretty high dose of glutathione.
Is there a way to test for low glutathione levels?
Yes, there's actually a function. So I do like a full hormone panel, like a full like functional liver panel. So I'm looking at liver enzymes. I'm looking at an enzyme called GGT, which is like gamma transferase, something like that. If that is elevated, I can tell that your body is not producing glutathione like it should be. And so it's not like a glutathione marker, but it's kind of a functional medicine marker, way for us to see how well your body is producing.
So yeah, low glutathione levels in the body are associated with chronic illness, including cancers, Alzheimer's, autoimmune conditions, while higher levels are correlated with increased lifespan.
Yeah.
Cool. So we are just starting at Hiva Health to offer lipomino, which is basically like McB12, but with
carnitine.
Riboflavins in there. I think that's the addition. But it also has L-Carnitine in there. What are your thoughts on that?
I've played around with it for a few patients. You can get it L-Carnitine just alone in a vial. Right. And I'm like, okay, cool. You can give yourself a couple injections a week. I didn't see huge changes. Really, when you are like dosing L-Carnitine as an oral supplement, you have to give people several grams a day, right? To really move the dial, increase muscle mass, increase bone density, all of that sort of thing. Also really good for fertility. When you're injecting, like you're only only injecting like a couple hundred mils or milligrams. So I'm like, okay, and you're getting better absorption with injecting, but I'm kind of on the fence. I love the lipomino because I have patients come into my office all the time and they're just like, oh, I want the fat burner shot. It's like B12 MIC. And so I've been getting the lipomino now instead, where I'm like, okay, cool. You're getting your B12, you're getting your MIC, you're getting the carnitine, you're getting all these other things in there as well.
Yeah, the carnitine it's a much lower dose in that versus just the carnitine by itself.
Right.
There are some people I have seen some like super fitnessy influencer types talk about L-Carnitine being like on their like main list of things they like to take, especially if they're trying to get cut.
Yeah.
Because it is known as acting as like a fat shuttle, transporting your fat around, and it helps to burn fat for energy. I didn't know that it has been shown to improve sperm quality and fertility in men. That's something I did not know.
Totally. And ovarian quality, egg quality.
And mobility, and for women too?
Yeah.
Nice. And then might improve recovery from muscle soreness as well. So, but yeah, it seems that L-Carnitine is pretty popular with athletes is what I'm finding.
I love it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on like the B12s, MIC B12, lipomino, L-Carnitine?
I test people's like B12 all day, every day. I test their B6 all day, every day too, which is why I think there's the pyridoxine and the lipomino.
There's.
Yeah, which so many people are deficient in B6. It's crazy. And that has so much to do with hormones and PMS and cognition and how you make neurotransmitters. So I really have been using more of the lipomino.
So one other thing too that I've seen on a lot of labs is for people that are on like these compounded GLP-1s that have B12 in them.
Oh yeah. And their B12 levels are going to be like sky high.
They get sky high.
Do not worry about that.
Yeah. I've had people worry about it though.
Why?
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, so they go to their primary care and they're like, look, I just got my labs done. And they come to us and like, you got to take the B12 out because I'm like above normal.
No.
And so how do you respond to that?
The only vitamins that I worry about that are above normal are your fat soluble vitamins, which are your A, D, E, and K, right? If your vitamin D is 150, I'm starting to get worried, okay? If your B6 is high or if your B12 is high, your body doesn't store those. They are released in your urine. So those are something that you have to take every day, right? So I tell people not to worry about it. If they are like, they'll be like over 2,000, right? It'll like freak people out. And I'm like, you're literally injecting yourself with B12 every week. I know where it's coming from. And if I take that away, your levels are going to go back to normal. So I don't worry about it.
Do we just secrete it? Do we just pee it out?
You just pee it out. Yeah. It's secreted through the kidneys.
Yeah. But it doesn't cause like those elevated levels. It's not going to put harm on the kidneys.
No.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know because it's come up more than one time. I can tell you.
I know.
People see it and they're just like, they see anything that's not quote normal.
Yeah.
And there's such a difference between normal and maybe like optimal or functional. But that's a really good, I like that you said it that way, that it's like, exactly where it's coming from. Second you take it away, it's just gonna
go back down.
And then you're probably gonna have to supplement with it because it's probably gonna be
it's probably gonna be low.
Yeah, you probably prefer that it's high than
low. People generally don't eat enough meat and don't have high enough stomach acid to like digest the meat to absorb all the B vitamins. So your B vitamins are one of the vitamins I always test for and that are generally pretty low in most Americans.
Yeah. Okay. So how about the last one I have on the list of things I want to talk to you about was Sermorelin.
One of my favorites.
Tell me why.
This is a growth hormone releasing peptide, right? As we get older, our growth hormone declines, and they do say that this is maybe why we age, right? So if every year I can stimulate your body to produce more growth hormone, not only is it anti-aging, but it helps with body composition, helps with skin, helps with sleep, helps with cognition, helps with so many different things. I do have access to straight growth hormone, right? Like Omnitrope. I do cycle that occasionally with patients. It's very expensive. So generally out of reach for most patients. And I generally will do like a 6 to 8 week cycle. Sermorelin Dude, this is such an easy like winner. It comes in a troche. It comes as an injection. I occasionally will do the troche. I feel a difference on the troche, but doing the injection, it's like I like within the first week, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm sleeping better. Oh, my stomach is a little less like, you're going to start losing some of that abdominal fat. So most of my patients over the age of 35, 40 do this once a year, like a 90-day cycle of Sermorelin. A lot of my patients, once they're transitioning off their GLP, right? We're in that last like 5 to 10 pounds of like their goal weight. We're going to do a cycle, like a 90-day cycle of Sermorelin as well, because it's going to help with their body composition.
This is when they're coming off a GLP?
Yeah.
What about while they're on it, pairing it with a GLP?
You absolutely can. A lot of times I am like focusing on optimizing their nutrition and their hormones when they're on the GLP. And then as we're cycling off, or as we're going to transitioning to more of like maintenance with the GLP, then I'll cycle that, because I'm like, I really want to like work on that visceral fat, and I want them to put more muscle on.
So how does, so like what would be the dosing instructions for this? I've kind of seen how people do this. And
I
I'm just
do
curious
like
why.
15 units for women, 30 units for men. I do 5 nights on, 2 nights off. So you're cycling it within the cycle.
But you're supposed to do it like a couple hours after you eat, right? On an
You
empty
want
stomach.
it to be on an empty stomach, and
Why
you
is that?
want it to be right before bed because you have better absorption.
Okay,
right?
so for absorption, and then at night, you do it just because that's it kind of tracks your normal growth hormone cycle secretion. Okay.
Yeah. And generally people are like, oh yeah, I am sleeping better. Oh, I'm waking up more refreshed. I'm like noticing better, muscle mass at the gym, all of that sort of thing. Have you done a cycle of it?
I have not done this one.
Yeah.
But this one I do want to try. I get really confused about why Sermorelin is on the FDA list is okay, but then you've got CJC, Ipamorelin,
dude,
and all the others that are not. I just don't get that, because I've also heard that like,
can we get Bobby on the podcast?
I want him on the podcast. So
let's get Bobby on the podcast and let's talk to him about why certain peptides are okay. Because I had access to CJC Ipamorelin for a long time. I love that one. I am getting Tesmorelin right now from a pharmacy in Texas, and I love Tesmorelin. It seems to be maybe even a little bit more potent than Sermorelin. But yeah, and then I'm just like, it's such a gray area. I'm like, oh, okay.
Why is this one okay? And
why is this one
not?
Okay and that one's not? And
I just feel like you've got some special interest groups trying to monetize it at the expense of us having access to it to improve our health. And that really bugs me. But the other concern I have about this, because they're out there at being sold mostly as not for human consumption, you can get them online. You can get any of this stuff. Same with like the other one that's
as long as
stupid,
you identify as a lab rat.
But like, but like BPC 157, that's the other one. It's like you get these great peptides that are out there, and you can't get them from a reputable pharmacy. I mean, maybe you can find some that will compound it, but generally speaking, like someone that's going to be like super sterile, constantly being like evaluated, constantly testing their product. Like that's where you want to buy injectables, right? Because you're injecting yourself with these. But now they're being sold from potentially questionable sources online. And I'm getting calls from I've gotten calls from parents that have, kids in high school. They're like, they want to be stronger and like, they're not growing as fast as they want to be growing. And they're like literally looking at buying this stuff and injecting. And I'm like, no, you're going to mess up. Like they're in their adolescence.
Let me tell you a short story. I had a patient buy some peptides off the internet and he was playing football and ended up testing positive for steroids and got kicked off the team.
But what about like the literal health effects, long-term health effects to their hormone function in a kid doing that?
Oh my God. There's so many guys in high school that are juicing. I have so many like little gym bros that are like in their early 20s that are getting, testosterone from their personal trainer and like God knows what peptides and like DEC and Tren and like all these things. I'm like, what's the goal here?
But so I specifically had a mom send me a picture because she didn't know what it was. She said, my son's begging me to buy this. He's like 16.
Oh yeah.
And he's wanting to inject Ipamorelin. So
Why?
Well,
This is the time in his life where his growth hormone is the highest.
exactly.
He doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it, but also what are the potential health risks of doing
It's
it?
interesting because ipamorelin, Sermorelin, Tesmorelin, these are kind of like biostimulators. They are growth hormone releasing peptides. They are signaling your body to release more growth hormone. It's not like you're taking over the growth hormone pathway with Omnitrope. So I'm not sure. I don't know if his growth hormone is already optimal, if that peptide would even make it higher.
Yeah.
Or if it's just a total placebo.
Well, and everything I looked up, I did some research and it seemed like it could mess up their natural hormone production longer term by messing with even that. So I don't know,
why
but
are we doing it?
I just think it's crazy. Like, especially just to potentially inject yourself with something that you just found online. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So
yeah,
parents, don't do that.
Don't let your kids inject themselves with internet peptides.
Correct. Don't let your friends do that. What else?
Man, I can't believe you're on such like a bare bone stack right now.
Oh, I got more.
No. Like that. You don't take peptides and like supplements
my own
and
stack.
like, yeah.
I take supplements.
Okay.
The only supplement I take is I don't even take a multivitamin.
Good. I actually don't like multivitamins. I generally tell people not to take
I mean,
them.
it kind of depends, but like there's certain ones that whatever, but like the one I do take is our cognitive
sick. Yes.
supplement that I actually like swear by it.
Yeah.
So
What's in it?
So it's got like so it's got fish oil in there.
Yeah.
It's all like the brain stuff. It's like so we got creatine is in it, fish oil is in it, like lion's mane. There's an actual supplement in there called Brain Boost that's got a whole bunch of things in there.
Love it.
So I can send it to you, but I take that mostly in the afternoons.
Okay.
I just find that it kind of gives me the only reason I think it works is because I thought too, like maybe it's just placebo effect. Well, I ran out of it and I'm just like everyone else by 3:00 in the afternoon, I'm like mentally kind of like drained. I stare at a computer screen a lot now because I'm like, there's just a lot of office work stuff I do.
Yeah.
And I just get tired. And so like by 3:00, I'm just kind of like, oh my gosh. And it's like by 5, I'm like, man, I'm like ready to go home. When it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon and I take my supplement, I find myself like having to force myself to stop working.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew, because I was like, I ran out and I'm like, whatever. And then I got it back and then I forgot that I took it, but then I'm like, crap, I need to go home at 7:00,
Yeah.
And I'm like, this stuff is totally giving me kind of that extra little amount. And I think, honestly, it's probably more the creatine if I had to guess.
The creatine, I started adding that probably 6 months ago. I just like, I get the Thorn, like the powdered creatine, and I put I'm doing like 7 to 10 grams in the morning just in my coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm like, oh, this has been great. Like it literally, I like mentally feel better.
I totally believe in it. I don't do well. It's weird because I can eat almost anything. I have no issues with stuff, but creatine monohydrate, totally bloated. It makes my stomach hurt, bubbles up. Yeah, I can't do it. So ours is made with creatine hydrochloride, HCl. Yeah. So, which they say is
it's like
more absorbable.
Digested.
You don't have to take as much.
Nice.
And so it's better in pill form that way. So it works with our supplement stack. And so I've been taking that for years. Anyway, so I take that and I kind of just focus on my protein.
You do the NMN?
On occasion. I'm not a religious, I have in the past, but like,
what
I'm
protein
not
are you on?
Religious. I switch them out. I just change them out. I don't take the same stuff every time. I'm the same way with like pre-workouts, like caffeine sources. I change my caffeine sources.
Love that.
I change my protein sources. I just cycle through different kinds. I don't take the same stuff every time.
I know.
But that's about all that I would say that I actually supplement.
Maybe once you turn like 40, 45, you'll like add a little bit more to your like supplement.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. But anyway, yeah, trying to think if there's anything else to talk to you about that's in line with all this stuff. I think we've already been going for like over an hour. So
perfect. We
can do this as many times as you want. We can set up another one and go through more cool stuff.
Yeah. We're going to get you home to Stephanie.
I know. She texts me. She's like, it's late. Get home.
Oh.
Maybe not. She's probably not. Maybe not. She hasn't texted me yet.
What?
She knows. She knows the schedule and that I'm interviewing you right now.
Okay.
And so she just knows.
Yeah.
And she loves you. Wow. All right.
How should we wrap this up?
Have an awesome weekend.
Why do we always do this at 5:00 on a Friday?
Yeah, well, we could have done it earlier, but you have patients late.
Dude,
we could have done this at lunch. We could have gone and gotten some really good barbecue across the street. And
yeah.
Then we could have done this, but instead we waited until your last patient was gone. That's why.
It's a grind.
It's
a grind right now. It's okay.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun.
Yeah, it is always fun with you.
The best.